Hello my friends, today you may be asking, what am I going to be putting in Satomi? I have an elephant. And I have one of my, well I haven't reviewed it yet so I can't say if I like it or not, but one of the beers I sometimes see around is this one. It's called Heartland Beer. I think it's made by one of the bigger breweries, Kirin Brewery. They make Kirin beer, surprisingly. And this one is one of their, I don't know, could you call it premium? They make the beer, then they put it in the bottle, green bottle, not a can. So in my imagination, the green bottle makes the beer feel like more premium. Excuse my poor grammar. It feels more premium. I mean, this beer, Heartland, you're gonna see in, how do you say, like low premium pizza shops. You'll find it in premium dive bars. You'll find it. Basically, it's a cheap beer, but it's a premium cheap beer. So, premium cheap. I was trying to think of a funny way of saying premium cheap, but it's not funny. It's just not funny. So, yeah, I mean, let's crack on. What I was going to tell you is 5%. Alcohol content is 5%, allegedly. Although, who's to say it's not, or who's to say it is? It has a rather attractive print on the bottle. Can you see? It says Heartland. And under it looks like an oak tree. You see there's an oak tree? And under that it says beer. And this is all the more surprising because this is made by a Japanese company, Kirin. And it's made for the Japanese market. And the number of people in Japan who use English daily, I can probably count on my fingers. So who is this beer for? Or is it just to use some cool English words? But I don't actually think Heartland is a cool word. Well, beer is a nice word, but you know, Japanese word for beer is beer. But they use their own alphabet, but they've kindly used my alphabet. And in this case, I can read the bottle, which is always a nice thing. Oh, it does have some small print. Can I make it out? It says in every what? In every something and something. Then it says season. Every something. I think probably what it means is it's always okay to drink a beer. Which is not true. You shouldn't drink a beer before you drive your car. You shouldn't drink a beer before work. You shouldn't drink it before you take medicine, or straight after you take medicine is also bad. Anyway, let's give it a pour. So this time we need elephant. His name is, he has a name as well, and it's printed on his side. Yeah. It might look backwards because of the way the camera works, but it's called Kickerland. So his name is Kickerland. His legs are made out of metal and wood, so technically he can't kick anything. He's just stuck standing up all day long. What he does all day is just stand waiting to open he's either waiting to open a bottle of wine with his thing here that comes up the back, or if he gets really excited, he wants a beer, he moves his head, I think, and then it's actually surprisingly difficult. How do you use a beer opener? It's been a long time since I had a beer like this. Oh, I see. Come on, man. Oh, it's not working. Come on, man. Yes, success. I think probably that's not the way to do it, but it worked. So who's to say it's not the way to do it? Sometimes any way that succeeds is successful. It doesn't have to be the mainstream way. Okay, so here we've got our beer. It didn't fizz up. It's still, the head's still here. And here's Satomi. Satomi Ishihara can't wait. She can't wait for the pour. So let's give it a go. Let's see. Oh, look at that. It's there. We got a good pour there. We got a good pour. So now we're gonna get a bit more head. And then I think the trick is when the bottle fits in the glass, but this bottle is a bit too big for one glass. It's for half a litre of beer, most likely. Does it say how much beer they give you? Yeah, half a litre of beer, which is just under a pint. I don't know why they can't just use pint, but they don't like using it. You can maybe make a bit of head in the bottle there and pour it in. No, it's not working. Let's try again. Bit of head in the bottle. Bit of head in the bottle. Okay, just forgive me. It's not going to look pretty. But here we have a glass of Satomi. Satomi, and let's put an H on it so we know H for Heartland Beer. Let's you know, the pour was it was a smooth pour. You know, when you get a glass beer, you're going to keep it in the fridge. It's always going to be cool. Let's check the aroma here. I can't smell anything. Do I have COVID? Maybe not. Yeah, really, there's not much smell to it. How about in the bottle? Does it smell? The bottle smells like the carpet of an old pub. And if you've been to England, you know what that smells like. It's a quiet taste, but the glass. Satomi is not giving me any scent. Weird. Let's let's go for the first sip. I'll tell you one thing, I haven't had a beer for 2 weeks, so it might blow my mind, but let's see. Yeah, it's giving me, it's exactly the taste you want after you've eaten a piece of like low premium pizza. You know that you got the crusty, thin crust. It's like cheap mozzarella grilled. This is the perfect after drink to a pizza, sub premium pizza maybe, or a premium cheap pizza. It's a bit sticky taste. It's not very carbonated. It's a little bit flat, you could say. A bit flat, a bit like a, I don't know the names, but maybe it's a bit like an ale. It's a light, sweet, sticky taste. Light, sweet, sticky taste, if that makes sense. Sweet makes sense, but sticky and light doesn't make it might sound confusing, but that's the feeling you get. It's not refreshing, but it's more like quenches. Well, it's not refreshing, but it would wash down pizza crust. It certainly would wash down a pizza crust very well, and I think that is actually what Heartland Beer is. It's a premium cheap beer you can use to wash down food that's slightly difficult to swallow while you're eating with your friends. So I mean, let's give a score to the first sip. It's been 2 weeks since I had a beer. This is chilled beer as well. It's I believe it's about 3 degrees, or maybe a bit less because it's in my expensive freezer that makes ice cubes. It has a special freezing section which is just above freezing, so maybe it's 2 or 3 degrees. but it doesn't taste that cold. It's kind of weird. It tastes a bit like warm beer. I would know. I just have the sensation that I wish I was eating pizza. But the irony is, although I believe this beer would be great for washing down pizza, I don't think it would be particularly good at washing down potato chips or crisps, depending on where you're from. I think with crisps, you want a bit of a lighter beer to like cleanse the palate after crunching on some salt and vinegar or cheese and onion or whatever flavour you like. A bit lighter, a bit more fizz. You know, you've got that greasy crisps in your stomach. You need the lighter beer to kind of act as an antacid to refresh your stomach. But this one is a bit heavy, a bit sweet heavy, but also light. I'm confusing you, but the taste is light, but the beer feels heavy when it's inside of you. Well, it's not a strong taste. It's a very gentle taste, but the sweetness is there. The bitterness is not much. And again, if on a hot day, this would not, you'd probably have to drink, you know, 6 or 7 bottles to quench your thirst. But now I see the logic of the more everyday beers, which, you know, they refresh you. This one washes down food deliciously. First, let me just remind myself. I mean, it's inoffensive. It's like having a boring friend. They're your friend, but they're boring, and you don't want to like stop being friends with them because there's nothing wrong with them, but there's nothing good about them either. And that is Heartland Beer. It's a beer that's your friend, but you couldn't really say why you like them. They're just your friend. You know, it's cheap. They could have done better, to be honest. It's a bit disappointing, you know, ending up with a beer like this. And if it was in a cheap can, I mean, let's say, I think the difference between a super cheap can of beer and a beer like this is there's kind of sticky, sugary taste you get. And in cheap beers, you don't get it so much. I drink a lot of cheap beers, so I know. But in the more expensive beers, you have that more, I don't want to use the word caramel, but it is a bit treacly or syrupy. Excuse me, it's the beer. So I mean, I give it a 4. But if you're having a pizza, I'd give it a 5. Maybe it's no pizza. I'd give it a 6. This would be a 6 with a pizza, but by itself, it's a 4. Is it going to get better? I have a feeling it's going to get better, like having a beer with a slightly boring person would get better with time. It wouldn't. But it is quite smooth to drink. It does go down quite easily. And maybe it's a beer for people who don't like beer much, because it's just so inoffensive. It doesn't have much flavour. It is easy to drink. Or maybe if you have some children and you want to... If you have some children, you know, parents often give them alcohol when no one's looking. This might be a good beer to give your kids. Probably not a good idea, actually. It depends where you live. It depends on the local laws, of course. Maybe some countries it's okay to have a beer when you're a child. In Japan, it's 20, so please don't drink. Well, you can't drink. You mustn't drink if you're under 20 years old, because it's illegal. And the man said no. So the good thing about being above the age of 20 is you can experiment with the local liquors. Do I want another one of these? No. One's enough. I don't have any pizza. It's just so boring. It's such a boring beer. It doesn't do anything. Really boring. Yeah, I mean, don't feel the need to buy this beer if you go to the shops and taste it. If you see it, you don't need to taste it. If you're in a shop and you put like a frozen pizza or chilled pizza in your bag that you're going to pay for, you can't steal it, then of course you should consider the Heartland Beer. One of the finest accompaniments to a cheap pizza that you can find. I mean, even a takeaway pizza, it's going to be hard to beat this. It's going to complement the cheesy crust perfectly. You know, you go for a slightly fizzy beer with your pizza, it's going to make you feel a little uneasy, but with this one, perfect. So in summary, let me just finish this. In summary, Heartland Beer, I'll give you a 4. Or, if you've got a pizza, a 6. Yeah. Thank you for watching.